Hello everyone, thanks so much for joining us today. Welcome to all of our replay viewers and everyone who's coming on. Look, my dogs are here to join us. They're saying hi. If you are catching this on YouTube, this originally aired on Periscope, and this is our probably our second Periscope together. So thanks for coming on. I'm going to flip our camera around now so we can talk with you guys better. Hello. All right, let's see if we can get this straight. We got it, maybe. I actually don't know where to look on the camera now that it's on the side.
It's right there.
I'm supposed to look over there. My husband's pointing at where I'm supposed to look. I never know where to look. How are you guys? Thanks so much for joining us. If this is your first time with us, welcome. My name is Keely. I'm the owner here of LoveHopeAdventure.com, and this is my husband,
whose name is Austin.
I thought you would introduce yourself.
I just did.
Hi, I'm not sure how to say your name. We are having a discussion about some things that I talked about this morning on my scope, if you caught me this morning, or if you have seen some of the graphics I put out, that we were going to be talking about sexual moods and some other things. So we are going to go ahead and jump in and get started, and I'm going to be asking Austin some questions, and we're just going to kind of talk about it, and if you guys have any that we can actually read while they're going through, we might have time to answer some. So one of our questions is, what kills the mood with sex? What can kill?
I have no idea. Let's see. We talked about a couple different things. I think Keely mentioned for women, distraction is a huge part of that. That the dogs bark at somebody on the street, the kids are hollering down the hall, or even better yet, knocking on your door. Those kinds of things can really sort of distract and mess things up. And not only big distractions like that, but just I know Keely has the problem of what I'm going to cook for dinner, or I got that laundry to do, and she's gone, and she has to be sort of very focused. So that can cause the mood to sort of shift and or evaporate. Mm-hmm. I think we talked about maybe pain, discomfort, different things like that can happen to the husband or the wife, and can really sort of kill things. So there's different things that can just sort of interrupt in the midst of things. I was also thinking about how the mood can be killed beforehand, before you ever even actually make it to, right now we're actually together, we're going to be intimate right now, or we're already there. Just things leading up, a misunderstanding, a disagreement, a fight, getting worn out. I know here lately, Keely's been a little bit sick, and there was a couple of days where it was just like,
tired.
Okay, I guess we'll just cut out the light now. I'll kiss your poor stuffy nose, and that's that. So there are lots of different things, but I think sometimes you just kind of got to let that go. Sometimes you just kind of got to let that happen and know, all right, this happened. Did we want to get into the thousands of times thing, or is that a different topic?
That's a different topic.
That's a different topic.
Well, the reason why we started out with talking about the what can kill a mood or something like that is that I have had some readers write into me and be concerned about trying new sexual positions. And so there's a lot of concerns for that. One of the things, that people are concerned about is that, will it break the mood? What if we try to get into a sexual position and it breaks the mood? And so Austin and I were talking about how there are different types of sex. And
should I little backstory into this? We were talking with a friend, or I was talking with a friend, and this kind of came up, and basically, like, what if it doesn't work? What if we try something new and it doesn't work? And I mentioned that we've had that happen. We've tried something different, it didn't work out, and I told him that we've had some colossal failures. I'm talking like tried something different and it failed spectacularly. So much so that it cracked us up and we were laughing. And he was like, really? Like, is that a thing? And I said, yeah. There's different types of you said moods. I like that. Different moods of sex.
Yeah.
Different
atmospheres, maybe.
tones. Different. I just said different types because I was thinking out loud. Different types of sex.
Probably not the best descriptive word because
what, types.
Yeah, because we're really talking
about. Simple word.
Yeah, I don't like your simple word.
No, you're right. I like moods.
Different moods.
Or modes, atmospheres, mindsets. I don't know. Personalities,
maybe. It's
something.
hard to say.
So as I was thinking about it, there's at least 4 that I can think of, and there's probably more, but there's basic sex, which is just kind of 1, 2, 3. Here we go. We know how it goes. This is how we do things. This is what we're comfortable with, and that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. That's sort of your meat and potatoes of your intimate, your sex life with your spouse is just, we know this works, and this is going to be that basic, simple thing that we need, and that's something that you need. And if you've developed that, fantastic. If you haven't, I'd encourage you and challenge you to say, okay, what do we know that works for both of us, and then and be okay with that. That if that's what typically happens, that's okay. And then there's the flip side of that. The exact opposite of that is adventurous sex, and that would be, all right, now we're going to try something different. We're going to try something new. We're going to go a whole different direction. We're going to try a different position. We're going to try different elements or whatnot, and we're striking out on an adventure. That we're both in this together. We're going to try something different and just hope it works out. And if it doesn't, we're okay with it. And I was actually mentioning this to my friend that, you go into it saying, okay, we're both trying something new here. We're striking out on an adventure. And if it's great, it's great for us. If it's not great, it's not great for us. And that's okay. And we learn something, right? Okay. Side note, I also mentioned that we have accidentally discovered things by...
so glad you guys are watching Provo Savers.
We have, been trying something different and stumbled into something else that we weren't even intending to do, and it ended up being great. And it was like, wow, that's not what we were trying for, but
hi, Rachel.
That's what we did, Rachel. Hi, Rachel.
She comes on all the time and watches.
Cool. Hey, Rachel. Glad your husband's on. What's his name? So the adventurous one leads me into the next one that really kind of threw my friend off. Was
hi, Brian.
Hey, Brian.
Hi, Rachel.
Sometimes, like I said, you try something new and adventurous and it doesn't work, and it fails spectacularly. And I said so much so that we've cracked each other up. I mean, it's just like, man, that was bad. Or you discovered we're not built for that. Or, Keely and I have a 12-inch difference in height. She's 5'2", I'm 6'2". There's some stuff that will never work. And that's fine. And there have been times where it was like, hey, what about that? And it didn't work. And it was hilariously unsuccessful. And so we've started laughing about that. And I said, that's okay.
Sometimes it just doesn't.
That's right. That's okay. That's just part of funny sex. And my friend said, funny? And I said, yeah. I said, sometimes it's just silly, Sometimes we're just enjoying each other's company. Mm-hmm. And sometimes something happens. Funny happens.
I think there might be a difference between funny and silly. Because, sometimes we come into the bedroom already laughing or joking or being silly. Okay. And then sometimes something funny happens. And it's just crazy.
Yeah, so just, funny, silly, lighthearted, anything like that. Where, it's just sort of a happy mood where it's, it doesn't have to be quite so serious. Just like any other part of your marriage. It doesn't always have to be just intense and serious all the time. And so that can happen. And sometimes, again, it's a result of something silly happens. Sometimes it's we were joking around with each other and being sarcastic. And it took me a little while, like we've been married 13 years now, and I think I just learned in the last year that when I'm putting the moves on and she laughs, I used to think that meant I was doing it completely wrong.
He thought I was like making fun of him, I think.
I'd be like, "Hey, baby," and she'd start laughing like that. Just that's the laugh. That is the laugh.
Yes, it
and
is.
I thought, well, I'm an idiot, you know, and I'm a goofball. So I thought, all right, I've just came off as a goofball. And then she told me recently that, hey, that actually means it's working because I'm giggling at you, and that's it. You know, that's
I say I don't know what else I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. You're supposed to go, how you doing? You know. So
I'm not gonna do that.
this is what she does to me, guys. This is what. Thank you. Yes, you're exactly right.
I don't really know.
Jess.
I don't know how to take being flattered. I just laugh.
Oh, I thought she was saying it's me being flattered. That you laughing at like.
Well, maybe.
Is that what you were saying? I don't know. Everybody's being flattered. It's a positive thing. But okay, so sidetrack. When that happens, sometimes I'm making her laugh and giggle, and that's how we start things.
Yeah.
And that's cool. Sometimes it can be that way. And then I think, what was the last one? What did I hit? Passionate. So again, you've got silly and
yeah.
not serious and lighthearted, and then you've got passionate, where maybe it's something new, maybe it's something basic, maybe it's basic or adventurous, but it is serious and it is passionate and it's involved and it's focused and intense and those kinds of things. So there are different moods, there are different types, for my boring word, there are different moods and modes and atmospheres and types of sex that should be explored, and it's okay. I keep wanting to veer off into the thousands of things, but anywho.
So another question, because I have people write into me and they want to try new positions and they feel very concerned about it. So what keeps people from trying something new?
Well, I guess some of it depends on what the new thing is. There can be moral objections, either as a really deeply held belief that this particular thing is wrong. Sometimes it is, I was always taught that this particular thing is wrong, and maybe that's something that that as a couple you can work through and say, well, is it really? And you may come to the conclusion that, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, but for us it's wrong, or for your spouse it's wrong, which means you have to respect that. Or you may go, I was always taught that, but maybe I was wrong about that. Maybe it's not wrong. But again, whichever way you land on that, you kind of got to respect that. If your spouse is, I'm not comfortable with this, I don't believe this is morally right, then you kind of got to go with that. One thing that I was thinking was about spontaneity. I don't know if I ever really crystallized this, but
you didn't. I wrote it down, but I didn't understand
just that
it.
Some people are very planned out and organized about things and have to like see the next thing coming.
Maybe it's like a process. We
Yeah,
start by kissing,
preparation,
and then we do this, and then we do this, and this is how this
well
goes.
yeah, because if you've got your basic, right, if you've got your 1, 2, 3 way of doing things, then throwing into there, well, hey, why don't, instead of 1, 2, 3, why don't we do C? And it's like, we've never done that, or I don't know how, or that's not what I was expecting, those kinds of things. So again, if one spouse is like ready to go, and one spouse is
somebody was saying that they giggle when they're flattered by their husband's attention. I do. I think that's just a flirty thing girls do. I mean, I don't know what else to do.
And I'm a clueless guy, so I had no idea. I was thankfully blinded all through middle school and high school until I met this girl. That I missed all the signals. I missed all the signals.
Okay.
Yeah, no, it's fine. We do that all the time.
He gets his thoughts interrupted on his own. Didn't take any comments.
There's so many comebacks. I can't choose just one. Spontaneity. So if your spouse is not the spontaneous one and you are, then maybe throw out a lifeline and be like, hey, I was thinking that later on tonight maybe we could try blah, or even I was thinking that sometime one day, or maybe this, that kind of thing, and maybe don't be spontaneous about it, unless that's the way y'all operate. Sometimes both couples can be on the same page and just say, yeah, hey, why not?
Well, I would say that one of the things that kept me from wanting to try new positions was just not thinking it was going to work.
Yeah.
You know, because you read these things and you're like, I can't bend that way. I cannot possibly get into that position. And honestly, a lot of positions are not even anatomically possible. But that doesn't mean there isn't any new positions that aren't possible. So I've just kind of learned over the years that it's a lot easier for me, instead of like rejecting a new idea. Not flexibility is not your friend. Well, I'm actually very flexible, and there's plenty that, you know, just can't be done. But I've found that it's just a lot easier to say, sure, let's try this thing, and then as a couple discover, all right, this isn't going to happen, than to say, no, we're not even going to try it.
We were talking about this earlier, and she mentioned that, and it dawned on me. It was like, you know, what's the worst that could happen? Because honestly, if you're trying something new and it's not going to work, you're going to know in about 30 seconds. And it's not like, well, now we have to just go to bed. You can go, well, that didn't work, and so let's go back. Yeah, let's go back to basic, or we had this other thing that we wanted to try, and maybe that one will work. And we've had both experiences where it's been this new thing did not work, but then we did a different new thing, and that was great, or we did a new thing and it didn't work, and we just said, nah, and we just went back to, you know, what we know, what works. And that's the other thing. That's why it's important to know your basic, what's the word I'm looking for? Method. You know, your basic 1, 2, 3 process, procedure.
I don't know what the word you're looking for is.
Thesaurus. Knowing your basic process, your basic way that y'all is going to work for both of you. That way, if you are trying something new, then you can say...
What's the sign above my head? Oh, this is actually the name of our website.
So once upon a time, Keely decided that she wanted to have these little palette sayings on our wall, and I had an old palette out back, and so I hacked a couple of pieces off, and we were painting some words on them, and Keely said, what should we have them say? And she said love, and we both said hope, and I said adventure, because that's something that we cling to in our family, is let's try something new, and let's, you know, hey boys, we're driving home from Granny's the same old way, and I'm going to go down this street and see where it goes, you know. And so we sort of embrace that adventure spirit and whatnot. Mm-hmm. So we put them up there, and then...
we're so resourceful. Yeah, they were pallets that were left here from the previous people.
It comes from being broke for a first decade of our marriage. But
everything's been given to us, or we snatched it from the backyard.
We bought our first major piece of furniture last year.
And it was from the thrift store.
And it was from the thrift store. But Rachel,
yes.
Rachel, I know how you feel. But so Keely was finally starting up the blog under my insistence, and she was trying to book a URL, and everything she was coming up with was taken. And I remember that at the time there was like the 3-word URL was
so
all the hot, holy, humorous, calm, healthy, sexy.
They're still all
what was
three.
What was SMS?
Shape,
Mind, Soul, and Mind, Body, Green, which I still don't understand what that means. And so we're sitting there, and I can't remember exactly. We tried a couple of different things, and then I was like, on a whim, I said, Love, Hope, Adventure, because we had just made these signs that week. And I typed in lovehopeadventure.com. It was available. Keely said, buy it. We bought it. Love, Hope, Adventure was born. And as she said, I'm the guy that comes up with the names for everything.
Yes, he comes up with the names for everything.
I named the dogs. I named 2 of the 3 children. So
I'm not very good at names.
I couldn't name this show.
You could not name this show.
It is a cute story. We're chock full of cute stories.
That's right. Okay, so one concern about trying new positions is, what if somebody doesn't orgasm? You know, what? And I think that many of the...
I'm sorry. Rachel said sorry for interrupting.
Okay.
Continue.
She said sorry for interrupting. Okay. I think that many of the sex positions that you try, a guy can almost always make it work unless it's just physically hurting him.
In our case, all the different positions, it's like, try this and it'll blow your mind, is basically for me. It's not, most of them don't work for her.
Well, not to reach orgasm, and it's not to say they don't feel good and that they don't like that, but normally...
It's not going to do it all the way.
If you are concerned about not reaching orgasm, one of two things needs to occur. You need to get yourself there prior to trying the new thing, or you guys need to be committed to making it happen after.
Get yourself there, get your spouse get you there.
Yeah, let your spouse
you get yourself there necessarily.
Oh, I mean, like, your spouse needs to help you orgasm prior to trying the new thing, or be committed to doing it after. If that's not how you normally do things, that's okay. I mean, just be willing to be flexible in that so that you're both satisfied. And another reason that people, I think, shy away from trying sex positions is that maybe they have tried it and it just didn't work. And
like, this thing didn't work, so let's not do any new things.
Or let's not do this new thing again. And we've found that there are certain sex positions that really didn't work for us at the beginning, and it has taken us years to get to the point. Yes, good idea. What is it?
It's a good idea, but keep trying.
Keep trying, because it might not work. Because seriously, there are some positions that we really, really love now, but we really didn't love them at the start. I really didn't love them at the start. It took a lot of practice, and I think that the television just makes us think that sex is so easy and it's so great every time, and you don't have... No. It takes so many flubs and tries and whatever.
I can't get my head wrapped around those scenes as an actor.
Yeah, sex did not work in the same in the beginning. Well, everybody's so easily able to just slip into the girl from behind. Like, that just does not happen. Every time I turn around, like, sex scenes get started, I'm like, I don't see this. And it's like, they are not having sex.
And
I mean, they're just not.
I joke with Keely, I'm like, okay, does every show now have to have, like, an obligatory sex scene, like, at least every couple of episodes?
It's so annoying.
And it's, and I'm talking about, like, NBC, and, I'm not, like, we're watching Game of Thrones and stuff.
No,
I'm talking about basic network television now, and like she said, it's just like, we're going to look at each other,
and all of a sudden, they're having
within 30 seconds, they're in the bed, and, it's like,
like, it takes so much more than that, guys.
Like what she said earlier, she goes, I don't think they're wearing real clothes. Because real clothes don't come off that fast. It doesn't.
Or they've got major wardrobe money. Do we watch a lot of TV?
How much is a lot?
We usually watch 1 or 2 shows every night. But we're very, very selective. So.
I can't get her to watch Walking Dead with me. Everybody says it's awesome, but she doesn't like gore. So.
Or Star Trek.
I have to watch that with the kids.
So.
Smart woman, no gore, she says.
One last question. What keeps a position from working? What keeps a new position from working?
I mean, I think...
somebody likes sci-fi.
Are you saying I love sci-fi? You love sci-fi, Jess? Yes. Good on you.
He likes sci-fi, too.
I have slowly gotten her
just a
into...
little.
just a few. What have I gotten you hooked on? A couple of sci-fi shows.
I really liked Merlin. That was on the
That's
sci-fi
not sci-fi.
show.
That's fantasy. It's a different type of speculative
Apparently
fiction.
I like
straight
fantasy. Then there isn't one. I don't know.
No, there's a couple. There was a couple that did, but Star Trek, never. I can get her to take me to Star Trek movies for my birthday because the new Star Trek movies are like Fast and the Furious in space.
Sure.
And she's okay with that.
Sure.
But like cerebral, make you think sci-fi, she's like, I don't want to think.
Or Doctor Who.
It's that. I've just gotten into Doctor Who, but we digress. What was the question? We don't. Squirrel. What keeps a position from working?
Well, yeah.
So we talked earlier about kind of unrealistic expectations that that's not how it works on TV. That is a stick figure drawing, so don't expect,
if you've got a butt, forget it.
I wasn't going to bring it up. The way you're built is a big part of it. Like I said, Keely and I have a 1 foot height difference between us, which means some things are not going to work. I see these things, and
standing
it's like,
up is not happening.
This position allows you to, kiss your wife, and I'm like, no, unless she's going to kiss me right here, that's not happening. Which, by the way, she knows exactly what that shoulder looks like. But
Oh, yeah. Right here.
So, incompatible body, not incompatible, but the wrong body type for a given thing.
Sure.
Which again might mean it never works. It might mean you got to figure out how to make it work. Pain can be another thing. You know, you can try something out the first time and it causes one or both people pain. And maybe just to throw in there, guys, go slow anytime you're trying something new for her sake and for yours.
Because you just don't know.
Accidents are terrible. And so you don't want to, you don't want to end up down that path. But pain can be a problem. Wrong expectations can be a problem. Like, oh man, this is going to be amazing. Or this is going to suck. You know, if one spouse is going into it thinking this is going to be a disaster, it probably will be. Or at least it won't go as you hoped it would, as planned and whatnot. So, did you have any other thoughts on that one?
I think that sometimes what causes a sex position to not work is maybe just where you are physically. I know that there are certain times of the month where certain sex positions hurt me.
Okay, guys, husbands.
I mean, I don't know why. I wish I did.
Especially young husbands or new husbands. Ladies are weird, man.
Things just change inside of you.
Stuff moves.
I think.
And throughout the month, and you got to be aware of that. You got to be sensitive to that. And it took me a long time. What the heck? Like, why was this okay last time and now it's not? And she didn't realize it first for a while, and then she realized it, and we kind of work together and go, oh, there's points in the month where stuff is just moving and shaking because of the cycle, to exactly.
Yeah, I think your service position does.
Yeah.
And it's like, why is this hurting me today and last time it didn't? So if
and
that's
that can
the case,
radically change the comfort level of certain positions.
Yeah.
And that's something I just ask about now.
Any deep position is going to hurt during that period. Right. So you just have to avoid it. You have to be like, oh, okay, it's
fascinating
this time
is one
of
word
my
for
month.
it, Rachel. But
and I don't even know how to tell you to know, because I really don't. I haven't been able to track it.
When she says "ow," that's when you know.
Yeah, basically.
And I literally do. I go, babe, is this okay tonight?
Sure.
And sometimes she'll say no, and sometimes she'll say, we'll find out. And so, when we find out, sometimes we have to change things up, or sometimes it's fine, or whatever.
Yeah.
But that took me a long time to realize. And she said something today that kind of blew my mind. She was like, if things are like going on inside.
Oh yeah, like if you have gas or something, forget it. It's just gonna hurt. Men
are more cut. Rachel, that's just a good,
so true.
A good thought, rule of thumb for life. Men are more cut and dry. Just. What do you want for dinner?
Move.
I had meat and potatoes.
Move, Jeff.
Pizza is fine. I don't know.
Yeah, sometimes you're going to need lubrication. You might not always need lubrication.
She goes the literal route on cut and dry.
Yeah.
But yeah, and
sometimes you need to add some lube in there. And I know there are some couples who say, well, we don't want to do lube because that might mean that I'm not really getting my wife aroused or something. Because I've read this on other commenters' blogs. Like other people's blogs and commenters
you're not
are
doing
saying,
it right. You're not trying hard enough or something.
Yeah, you're not doing it right. Or what's my favorite lube? I don't have one.
I don't know if we've bought the same one twice.
We've never bought the same one twice. Some people like coconut oil, which he does not want to try because he doesn't like how it feels on skin. But water-based is always good. There's KY, I guess, Astroglide. I don't know. We don't really have like a preferred
There's a couple
lubrication.
Of wacky ones that we've.
But if you really dry out a lot, a water-based is best. And if you have any kind of allergies, you definitely need to be looking because I think some have silicone in them. So
yeah, they're silicone-based.
Water-based is good.
Silicone-based is not good if you're using a condom because it can actually break down the latex.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So if you are using that, then you need to have a water-based. And we don't have any experience with any like silicone-based.
I don't think so. We try to just use KY
and
or
something. There's like warming.
That stuff doesn't do nothing.
Kind of stuff, and it's
that stuff doesn't do nothing. The warming stuff, I don't know.
To me, it's more irritating than anything. And some people love it.
Some people
if
do.
The commercials are to be believed.
Woo. I'm about to knock my whole camera
If the
out.
commercials are to be believed, that's the reaction right there. The Earth moves
The Earth moves.
as a result of.
Oh yeah, I know those how
heat.
the commercials are. Heat
Yeah.
or whatever. I don't know. I can't tell
They
the
just cut to the
difference.
fireworks and everything, and then stupid grin afterwards. Have I ever looked like that?
No, I don't. Well, anyway, that's all we have for you guys tonight. We have to go get on Facebook Live. So, if you want to hear all of the same stuff again,
But
feel
even
free.
funnier.
Feel free. Yeah, because we kind of got our spiel now. We've got our thing.
We do.
I don't know.
Okay. I should have set my camera up over here and recorded it, and we could have just played it back on Facebook.
I would just played it back. That's not live, though. Okay. Well, guys, thanks so much for joining us, and I hope to be on tomorrow. And somebody says they love when you get our emails.
Our
That's
husband.
great.
Why is that?
Well, which list are you on? Because I have two. I
Yeah.
have spicy, and I have the what did I call
Boring.
that other one?
No, the
The boring one. The
The-
spicy. Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have just a general marriage one
she
too.
has PG and R.
Yeah, I do. I tried.
What is it, Rachel? What is it, and Brian? What is it about the emails that you guys like, if you don't mind? Because we always want to, improve
Yeah, I
on
want to make sure
those,
I'm
and that's
sharing the right stuff.
Is that something that I'm going to be getting involved in?
I don't know.
I don't know. We're hoping that, by the way, I'm going to be getting more involved at Love, Hope, Adventure, doing a little bit more writing. I've written some. When a friend of mine asked me the other day which articles I've written, I realized how very few I have, but,
Oh, clean Christian-based spicy. Well, that's what
that
I'm
is
going
the
for.
heartbeat of what we're trying to do.
That's what I'm going
Yeah,
for.
yeah, games and
he
position guides and
He's
all those.
designed all the games for us.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
we normally come up with them together. I'm like sort of the creative force behind a lot of the moves and the things that is written on them. But
Yeah.
if it comes to graphics, like PDFs and stuff, he's the one that... And we've got a few ebooks
She
in
makes
the
them
works.
good, I make them purty.
Yeah, he makes them function. I can't do that. I'm like, I need this to happen. Make this.
I need an ebook. Go.
That's right. Make it go.
So, yeah. That's her one regular sci-fi reference there.
Make it go.
1,000 geek points if you can figure that one out. Yes. We've actually done that.
Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
have we done that with couples getting married?
Oh, yes.
Yeah,
Depending
Ron
on the
and Evie,
depending on the couple. Don't be shouting out folks' names. Depending on the couple. My nephew recently got married, and no, I did not give him a bedroom game because I felt he thought that would
Awkward.
be a little weird from his aunt.
Yeah.
But if they are friends of mine, I absolutely do. And if I have friends going away for anniversaries and stuff,
Mhm.
I do give them the bedroom games. We actually created the first bedroom game before the site was even started for
Yeah.
friends who were going away for the weekend. And
we had to test drive it.
we had to test drive it. And then I
It
was
was awesome.
like, now I've got a website. I need to put the game
So
on it.
we need to put the link in the thing, in the doobly-doo, to the...
Well, there isn't a link on Periscope, but if you want to know the
Okay.
game and you're on our spicy list, it's getting hot in here. And I can link to that on my Periscope page.
The original game that we did, and still probably my fave. Why not?
Yes.
Why not?
Somebody said, you know what they're going to be doing, so why not? And I think that's true. Unless you're worried about ruining your friendship, I don't think you would.
I've been surprised at how positive the reactions have been, because I was kind of like, ooh, wouldn't that be a little awkward? But what I found is that Brian, tell me if I'm wrong here. I have approximately 1.5 men in my life that I can have any kind of actual conversations in any kind of detail about sex and intimacy and all these different kinds of things, and and even one of those spent half of our first conversation apologizing and saying, I hope I'm not going too deep, but I figured based on y'all's blog you'd be okay. And I'm like, yes, thank God that I have somebody else that I can talk to about this kind of stuff. But what we found is that most people, when they either come to the website or we just start up a conversation with them, that they go, wow, And it's like maybe it feels a little awkward at first, but then what you realize is we're adults.
Yeah.
And as one person in our life says, you're married, so it's legal and it's fun.
One person.
Well, I was calling names earlier and felt bad. I didn't want to. She'll never see this.
She'll never see this.
Hope to God. But, but that's the thing is if you sort of open up that conversation, and exactly, I mean it's a good thing. It's a positive thing. It's the shushed thing in the church for the last 50 years or more. It's the thing that we don't talk about, and it's the thing that in the culture wars have been battlegrounds in various different ways, so much so that there are entire psychological sex problems that are now manifesting. Some of them that we're hearing from friends as a direct result of the True Love Waits movement, which was tremendously helpful for us, but it has wrecked some people's sex lives, which is devastating to us. Because it's it's this lockdown thing in a box. Mm-hmm. And we were talking earlier today that, man, when we got married, I was like, I do, so let's go. I was like, now the floodgates are open. The park is open, and let's go have some fun. And Keely had a much different transition period, and that's how some people are. Mm-hmm. You're gonna have different reactions, but if you can have that conversation and say, we've opened up this conversation with people that have been married longer than us, or as long as we've been together 13 years as a married couple, 18 as a couple, but we've been married for 13 years. We've been having sex for 13 years. Why can't we talk about this?
Yeah. When you give somebody a sex basket, is what I call it, they will feel comfortable.
It used to be a picnic basket.
To you. I know.
It's evolved a little bit. When we got married, somebody gave us a picnic
basket with
a literal picnic basket
date stuff in
with and not even date stuff. I mean, like the most risque thing might have been a candle. There was plates.
We just turned it into a sex basket, so we take it everywhere we go. The sex basket. I call it the sex basket. I don't know. I tell this to my readers. This is what I'm like. Look, I have created another sex basket for this person. I'm going to. You guys could actually go back on my website and see what I give couples that are getting married.
Yeah.
So
she's got go-to things like when somebody's graduating high school, she gets them all the stuff you need for a dorm room. Soap, dish soap and towels and a hamper and stuff like that. And then she's got. We used to have the date night basket. She would get them a picnic basket or some cutesy little basket, and maybe a bottle of sparkling juice and conversation starters and cups and candle and stuff and maybe a romantic CD. And now it's here's a board game with different sex positions you can try and everything. And we really have kind of evolved on that.
Yeah.
And that has also become kind of an anniversary gift as well as and even beyond that, the nephew that just got married, we had a little get together to celebrate, and her dad brought us to a point of saying, all right, basically, long story short, let's give them some advice, and we did, and it was relationship advice. It was it wasn't hey, why don't in front of grandma and grandpa, why don't we talk about?
I don't think my parents would have cared.
They would
have cared.
Yeah.
My niece and nephew,
the niece and nephew probably would have had a problem with that. But it was a great time to just sort of throw out some advice. And what's wrong with talk to them about how to fight, talk to them about how to be on the same team, talk to them about splitting up the household duties, but talk to them about sex. I mean, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with opening up that door? And then for that matter, you open up a door. You build a bridge where you say, hey, I can be one of those people in your life. Keely and I are very much about kind of couple mentoring or counseling or that kind of thing. We actually have a really good friend of ours who had come down to visit a few times. We go way back, and he's a couple years behind us. And one day he calls me up and he says, hey, hey, I just got engaged. Whoa, congratulations. We barely knew you were dating anybody. How awesome is that? And then he goes, do you want to meet her? And we're like, well, yeah. Do you mind if I bring her to your house 5 hours away or wherever we are? And I was like, yeah, y'all come down. And they came down and they spent a weekend with us. And man, we just poured into them. And discussed all kinds of topics about marriage with them. Mm-hmm. And I mean, we kind of did like a weekend premarital counseling cram session with them, and it was awesome. And now we are still in communication about those kinds of things. We've been in communication with him for a long time, and now we've gotten to know his fiance and now wife and all these kinds of things. And so we're able to continue to pour into them. And it is 9:42. So we're gonna
go to Facebook Live now. So if you really want to keep hearing us jabber, you can join us over there. But I told everyone I was gonna come on around 9:30, and now we're 12 minutes late. So I will talk with you guys tomorrow. Where do you sign up for my newsletter?
Couples mentoring, I think is.
Where do you sign up for couples mentoring?
Pinky, are you subscribed to Keely's email newsletters?
Yeah, I don't know, are you? You might be, but you can go to lovewithadventure.com/newsletter. That's where you get the free printables. Yeah. We were talking about bedroom games, so.
Yeah. So,
and of course, you can always send me messages if you need to.
Yeah, so. When you get the newsletter and it prompts a question, you can actually hit
Love Hope Adventure is my Facebook name. Yeah. So if you're not following me on Love Hope Adventure, just look up Love Hope Adventure. There I am.
Yeah. So follow her on the us, I guess, on the newsletter. And if you have a question, you can hit reply to the newsletter, and it'll go straight to her. Yeah. And she actually gets some interaction with folks that way. So if you've got a question, we love being able to pour in as much as we can. And guys that are on right now, I hope there's a few more on here. I'm just challenge you to get involved, get in the conversation here. And like I said, my presence is hopefully going to increase on the website and maybe on some of the scopes and stuff. We'll do some of this late night stuff. So get involved. Wives, tell your husbands that there's another dude on here, and hopefully we'll get some stuff going on. I'm going to shut up again.
All right, we will see you guys tomorrow. And if you want to go on to Love Hope Adventure for Facebook, that's where we're headed.